Welcome to BMO Field for a clash of undefeated clubs by the lakeshore. On a weekend full of fireworks across the country, we expect plenty of them between the Owls and the Argos here tonight. Marshall Ferguson alongside Dwayne Ford, Kenzie Lalonde down at field level for us throughout the evening. What a great matchup we got between these two teams in the East. Who would have thought at this point Montreal would carry in their success and Toronto would be having a lot of success to start the season, in large part to Cameron Dukes at quarterback.
Yeah, Dukes has done a terrific job, and as we've talked about a lot, Ryan Dinwiddie and the offensive staff have done a terrific job of keeping Cameron Dukes within his comfort zone, allowing him to succeed. Now, the mission for Tyrese Beverette, one of the CFL's most productive defenders, and the rest of this Alouette defense, try and force Cameron Dukes out of his comfort zone.
Jason Moss said he learned a lot of lessons against the Toronto Argonauts back in 2023, looking to apply them here in 24. There's a lot of history between these two clubs over the last season and a bit. And Ryan Dinwiddie, he just wants his team to get back into playing at a high rhythm consistently, being disciplined, being smart, and having a laugh. Here's the cannon goes off here as well, setting the tone for week number 4, Friday Night Football from BMO Field. Thanks for being with us as always as David Cote has the ball on the tee, ready to send it down to the Toronto Argonauts, who will receive to start this football game. Cote kicks it away. And in all blue, it is the Argos with possession, faking the reverse on the opening kickoff return, spinning off a tackler, and then brought down. Janarian Grant is the returner, and out comes Cameron Dukes.
Well, you heard the panel talk about Cameron Dukes before this ball game. He's been terrific to this point, doing exactly what's been asked of him. I think they've limited what they've asked him to do so far. Second-year man, they don't want to overextend him. But Cameron Dukes has shown he can handle everything that's been thrown at him so far. Be some tough challenges with the Montreal defense tonight. We'll see what Dukes has in his repertoire in order to respond.
Montreal best in the league at shutting teams down on first down and getting off the field on second down. They have a formula. What will Dukes do to try and disrupt it here tonight? It begins with a high snap, catches it with one hand, and now he'll go for a run. Inside out, makes 2 men miss, and rolls his way down near the 40. We'll call it the 39-yard line. And so a gain of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, as Montreal starts out with a 3-man front, Cameron Dukes is going to put his legs to work out of the gate. Sees an opportunity to get around the edge so he doesn't hand off that ball. Good way to start. Feel involved in the game. Get out and get the legs moving, take a hit for the young quarterback.
Second down and 2. Blitz comes from Montreal. They'll flip it on the edge. Try to get outside. Stacked up. And a tackle for loss. Way out near the sideline. Isaac Adeyemi Berglund tracked it down.
Oh, Montreal flowing to the football, as you called it, Marsh. Run blitz on the play, swarming the ball, preventing Kadeem Carey from turning the corner to get upfield.
And not surprising to see Montreal begin with a 2-and-out defensively. 40% of opponents' possessions have been 2-and-outs so far this season, second only Corey Mace used to be the defensive coordinator here in the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who get teams off the field quicker more often than Montreal. Here's James Fletcher Jr. Catches it at his own 15, crosses the 25, airborne, and a big hit. Spinning, almost looked like McLeod Bethel Thompson, who went airborne to kick off week number 4 last night in BC.
Yeah, it looked like Brandon Calver getting his first action of the season, looking to make an impact on special teams for the Toronto Argonauts. Cody Fajardo takes to the field to lead this Montreal Alouettes offense, coming off a monster outing last week. And not to be forgotten, amongst his passing numbers, 89 yards rushing so far for Fajardo this season.
Mixing it in, he gets the ball out quickly this time. Keon Julian Grant makes his first catch of the ball game as the starting offense of the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, along that offensive line, former Argo Justin Lawrence holding down the center spot, anchoring that group. And in the receiving corps, it's been a story all season. The two young guns, homegrown receivers, Keon Julian Grant, Tyson Philpott, terrific last week, combining for 16 catches, 266 yards through the air.
Doesn't sound possible. They've got 56% of Montreal's catches so far this season. Add another on the first play. Now they'll go outside and chop down near the first down marker. It's Cole Speaker. And right there to make the play. It's Franklin flying in from his field corner spot.
Yeah, ball's out quickly. You see Speaker starting off in the backfield, just shooting out to the flat in the left. Franklin closing quickly to chop him down. That's going to leave Montreal with a third and about one.
4 of 5 and third and short so far this season. They've only missed one. Will they miss a second here? Looked like a pretty good push from the Argos front. We'll wait for the spot of the football, but there didn't seem to be much of a surge at all there, Dwayne.
No, Caleb Evans in the ball game running that short yardage offense. No movement at all.
Down Argos. As Toronto gets the stop, and Jason Moss frustrated by not being able to get the push up front. You see Nick Callender pushed back. Caleb Evans nowhere to go. Toronto football. In large part to just picking apart the defense for Cameron Dukes. He found a way to get the victory, certainly using his legs a little bit, Dwayne, but it's the accuracy that's jumped out to everyone.
Yeah, over 80% completion rate for Cameron Dukes thus far, and the other piece that stands out, of course, no interceptions so far for the second-year QB.
Kadeem Carey off and running inside the 30, wrapped up and brought down. But Carey into a rhythm here early on as he gets a first down.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the pregame. You'll see the work of the offensive line, getting bodies on bodies, getting up to second level. Rashid Bailey getting involved. He's been absolutely terrific as a blocker in this Toronto offense. And Kadeem Carey just does his thing, picking up another Argonaut first down.
It was pitched to him by Ryan Dinwiddie to come in free agency for plays like that. Now Cam Dukes pumps, flips it to the outside. And it is caught by Rashid Bailey as we look at the Argonauts offense featuring Cam Dukes and Rashid Bailey.
Yeah, and also featuring Ryan Hunter, who's quickly emerged as one of the top offensive linemen in the CFL. Look forward to seeing he and Mustafa Johnson go head-to-head a little bit tonight. And we mentioned Rashid Bailey, touchdowns in each of his first two games as a Toronto Argonaut, but I think he's meant so much more to this offense and to this team as a whole in his short time in double blue, stepping up as a leader. We've mentioned what he's done as a blocker as well as a receiver.
Argonauts went inside the score zone. 7 called passes, 1 run. This time they'll give a second as they try to get something on first down. But turned around by this Montreal defense. There's Titus Wall making a play.
And defensively for Montreal, we mentioned, of course, Mustafa Johnson, who's established himself as one of the top interior defensive linemen in the Canadian Football League. Darnell Sankey has only lost 1 game as a Montreal Alouette. It was the first game he played in red, white, and blue here last season. Of course, Marc-Antoine Dequoy, one of the league's great ball hawks. Terrific 2023 season for him.
Flags come up on the snap here as Dukes was looking to throw. Had DeMonte Coxey out to his left-hand side. Might have been staring him down, one of the great red zone threats.
Procedure, Toronto number 62, 5-yard penalty.
Richie Miller is the referee here tonight in Toronto, so some substitutions and move it back, and it'll be 2nd and 14.
And there you see Ryan Hunter at his left guard spot. Just twitched just a half-second early. North Bay, Ontario native out of Bowling Green University.
2nd and long. Dukes, another high snap, brings it down. Lots of time in the pocket, looks over the middle. And that one, Jeffrey Canton-Arcou might have laid a huge hit if it was completed, but Mustafa Johnson gets the knockdown.
Yeah, terrific protection from the Argonauts offensive line, but presence of mind from Mustafa Johnson to get a hand up there to affect that one.
Yeah, you're not wrong about Ryan Hunter going at it with Mustafa Johnson for the remainder of the night. Keep your eyes locked on that one. If you love the battles in the pit, there's Liram Hairolahu with the winner last week. Knocks it through and gives Toronto the early lead here, 3-0 over the Alouettes, who have scored first in all 3 of their season streak in the regular season for the Montreal Alouettes. Win number 8 in a row. Regular season was sensational. We were there for it last week, Dwayne. Cody Fajardo went off and took shots down the field all game.
Yeah, and fittingly, the Montreal Alouettes celebrating last season's Grey Cup win. Prior to that ball game, they went from celebration to all business and dismantling Ottawa.
Quick game here, flips it back into the short side of the field, and they get another early touch for one of their Canadian receivers as we look at the Argonauts starting defense.
Yeah, and keep an eye on this defensive line. Robbie Smith, 9th overall pick back in 2019, the senior member of this Toronto Argonaut defense. Jonathan Jones returns after missing last week due to injury. He'll be at the weak side linebacker spot. And you heard Jim talk about it in the pregame. Benji Franklin, bit of a tough outing against Edmonton. He looks to bounce back tonight, has already had a big hit to get things started.
Toronto with an extra offensive lineman in. Rips this one to the sideline. Saw tons of that against the Red Blacks last week. Is once again yards after the catch. So good for Tyson Philpott. And entering this week, only 3 receivers had over 100 yards after the catch. 2 of them are on the Alouettes. They're both Canadians.
Here you'll see the cushion that Franklin gives out on that wide side of the field. Cody Fajardo showing a little bit of arm strength, getting it out there to move the sticks for Montreal.
Can you name the other receiver that's a Canadian on the roster who had over 100? Okay, on Julian Graham, we've already talked about it. It's not a trick question, Dwayne. Inside run gets stacked up. Once again, that run defense from the Argonauts doing a good job early on against Walter Fletcher, is brought down that time by Derek Parrish and Jonathan Jones in on the play as well.
Yeah, Parrish, first-year man with the Argos, getting an opportunity in this defensive line rotation. A lot of turnover on the D-line for Toronto since last season. Dwayne Hendricks and Brandon Barlow moving on to Hamilton in free agency. Sean Oakman released after their Week 1 game.
A lot of movement on this Argos roster from 2023. Montreal, a lot of the same names back. Fajardo steps up, second and long, he'll take off and run, uses the wheels, aims for the first down marker, gets it, and then some, and steps out of bounds with another second down conversion, this time with the legs for number 7.
Yeah, and I like seeing this from Cody Fajardo, as this was a big part of his game in his breakout season, 2019 in Saskatchewan. I think injuries took the running part away from him a little bit for a couple of years, but back healthy, and you see what a threat he can be.
Had that kind of running on top of 394 passing yards last week. Got a nice mixture as this time. Quick screen to James Letcher Jr. and tried to run a little tunnel screen, but great rallying by the Argonauts defense limits the gain to about 2.
This is the challenge when you have a player like James Letcher, is you want to put together a package to get the ball in his hands, let him go to work, use the skills that have made him such a dynamic kick returner. But the fact is, every time he comes on the field on offense, everybody on the defense is keying on him, anticipating exactly what just happened. They tried a little misdirection there. Toronto wasn't buying it.
Gave him a reverse last week against Ottawa. That's just his second catch of the season. Off the field here is Fajardo. Sets his feet, looks over the middle, open. Catching and running. Tyson Philpott cutting back. Touchdown, Alouettes. Immediate answer, and who else? Tyson Philpott, his 4th touchdown of the season already.
Yeah, Tyson Philpott continues his hot start, and it looked like a defender blew a tire here. You're going to see Philpott come left to right on your screen. He'll first appear on that left edge, and you saw the defender falling down just behind him, trying to trail him. That leaves him wide open. Easy bit of pitch and catch for Cody Fajardo for the touchdown.
Almost identical to so many University of Calgary highlights of both Jalen and Tyson. Catching the ball over the middle and running away from everybody in Canada West. Now he's doing it in the CFL in a battle of undefeated. Coming into tonight, 27 targets, 23 catches. He catches 85% of the stuff you throw at him. No wonder Cody Fajardo loves him.
For the moment, Tyson Philpott continuing his terrific season. He's a one receiver, so lead man in that two-person cluster to the top. The defenders don't switch it. Leonard Johnson looks like he gets a decent jam on him, but loses his footing coming off of that contact. That leaves Philpott wide open, coming underneath. Cody Fajardo finds him, and quick six is off to the races.
It's the little things that Tyson does in his route running. We saw it on the game winner in the Grey Cup, right? Straighten up, snap across the like he's so sound. He does all these little technical things so well, and you just go, why is he always open? Well, because he does so many of those things so well. Once again, into the end zone. It's the Argonauts return going back across the field. It's 24 on 24. Marc-Antoine Duclaw against McMahon, and the ball gets ripped out. And who tapped it last? Did McMahon get his hands back on it? Duclaw refused to get beat around the edge. Classic battle that time for Marc-Antoine Duclaw, showing the grit to chase it down wide field as they left him as the contain man on the backside all by himself, and that's why.
As this play was unfolding, I found myself wishing that the field was more than 65 yards wide, because I was loving the race between McMahon and Duclaw, wondering who was going to win that one. Two of the fastest guys on any field. And good awareness by Duclaw as he first had the hands up top of the shoulder pads. Didn't want to risk that horse collar penalty, so he gets the hands down, goes for the football. This is a guy responsible for the most takeaways in the league over the course of the last couple of seasons. Very nearly had another one there.
Leading into the Ottawa game last week, we were talking to Alonzo Adai, talented free safety for the Red Blacks. He said, I just like watching that guy. He's just constantly taking the football away. That's what we all want to do. Something to aspire to here as Duclaw lines up at free safety now. Into the short side of the field. They'll empty it out for Cameron Dukes. Go with a quick screen and try to track it down from behind. As the defensive line is once again Duclaw, one of the true stars of the Canadian Football League. Of course, the great Grey Cup performance and speech afterwards, but he is so much more than a single game. He's been doing it for a while now. Yeah,
he really has become a leader for this football team in terms of his words and very clearly his actions. One of the most impactful defenders in the CFL from his free safety spot. Former University of Montreal Carabin.
As you said, aside from the play, he's just fun to watch. He is everywhere as Dukes digs in now on second down, looks to go and run, takes off, cuts back, and runs away wisely from Darnell Sankey before sliding down and picking up a first down with his feet, just like his counterpart Fajardo a minute ago.
And in your perfect world, if you're Toronto, obviously you don't want your starting quarterback taking a ton of hits, but much of the edict for Cameron Dukes is take what you're given, and sometimes what you're given is going to involve using your legs. He's doing a good job of that. I think Ryan Dinwiddie is going to like this decision-making from his QB. Don't force a pass when there's another way to get a first down.
Everybody said some might throw it better, some might run it better, but he's got it between the ears as good as anybody in the CFL. As now Dukes showing that off once again, just deciding not to lose the play as he flips that into the turf. Incomplete. As in behind the play, Peter Nicastro and Mustafa Johnson get tangled up, but no flags come out. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, again, that battle in the interior, but I'll go back to the point about decision making from Cameron Dukes. No interceptions through his first 2 starts of this season versus 5 touchdown passes. There you see, found himself in an awkward spot, didn't risk the loss of yards, didn't want to force the pass and risk a turnover, just gets rid of the football and lives to fight another down.
Rusher coming off the edge here, late blitz and picked up by the running back right there. Kadeem Carey got it and allowed the football to get out on 2nd and 10. What a blitz pickup, and immediately Dukes goes to congratulate Kadeem Carey for seeing the pressure off the edge.
Yeah, you're going to see Carey get across on this one as the blitz comes from second level off the edge. Bryce Cosby, the nickel linebacker. Kadeem Carey, veteran guy. Great recognition, great reaction. Make a play, Richie Sindani with the catch to move the sticks.
Four receivers to the left, they'll run that direction. Inside zone this time, Carey gets rewarded for his blitz pickup by being able to get what looks like a first down. Very close to it, or nope, they'll say it's just shy.
Once again, offensive line sealing the corner. Carey, primarily a downhill guy. You expect to see him getting it done between the tackles. Doing a good job on the perimeter, as well as he's going to go off for a quick blow.
As Duke stays in, quickly gets the first down there on 2nd and short. So Deonta McMahon checks into the game alongside Makai Polk. Fitting in nicely is American receiver. Bit of depth in this receiving core. They've shown off in a 2-0 start. 11-game home win streak in the regular season for the Toronto Argonauts here at BMO Field. Cameron Dukes again, plenty of time, checks it down underneath, and that one misses high, incomplete.
Sailed on him a little bit as check down guy DeMonte Coxie. It looked almost as if Dukes was contemplating throwing this one to the corner route a little bit deeper to Makai Polk on that side, and then maybe second guessed himself, kind of put the ball in between.
2nd and 10. Argo's third best in the CFL right now. 40% of converting this down in distance as pressure comes. Getting it out of his hands cleanly once again into the speedy McMahon, and he splits the tacklers and picks up the first down before Marc-Antoine Dequoy brings him down.
Yeah, Deonta McMahon has the Argos' longest run of this season so far, reeled off a 40-yarder last week.
Sankey and Beverett there. We don't say that very often. It's incomplete, and Beverett on cue whacks Cameron Dukes in the backfield. Incomplete once again. That completion percentage is taking a hit on this drive.
Yeah.
A smart throwaway, a couple of knockdowns.
Tough to keep up, 81%. You're going to see Beverett coming from the left side. Gets a piece of the QB there. Monster game for him last week. I think he touched every defensive statistical category.
That stuffer extraordinaire, Tyrese Beverett. Now 2nd and 10. Dukes, pressure on, steps away, gets it out of his hands again. His 5th completion of the night. And just inside the 10-yard line. And we'll see now what the Argonauts do with play number 11 of this drive.
Well, Kadeem Carey had checked back into the backfield for Deonta McMahon. And again, helping pick up the blitz. Allowing Dukes to step up and get the completion.
Carey led all the CFL with 19 carries and 100 yards last week. Pass protection, what he's doing right now is they'll at least line up on 3rd down, and a flag comes out. Everyone's going to play the pointing fingers game. And it looked like it might have been the left side of the Argos offensive line.
Procedure, Toronto number 62. Remains 3rd down.
Toronto's fixed a lot of shit in our games lately. I didn't want to waste my talents on it this early.
Bottom left.
In Toronto, please.
It's your left guard, Ryan Hunter. You see him move early. You know, fans react to the call, but I'm not convinced that 3rd and 4, that the Argos were really looking to run an offensive play there.
Backs them up, if you want to say. 3rd and 9 here at the end of the first quarter. Is Howard Lahu out for another attempt? knocks that through cleanly. And down by just one now, as that is the end of the first quarter here in Toronto. The Alouettes coming in with a high-flying passing attack. They get back to it once again with Tyson Philpott into the end zone. A close one. We expect it will be throughout the game. Second quarter coming up right after this. Here at BMO Field, a one-point game between the Alouettes and the Argos as back and forth they go. But tonight, it is all about Ricky Ray as he is being honored by the Toronto Argonauts organization alongside some of the main key builders. Let's go down to Kenzie Lalonde with more on all things Ricky.
Yeah, Marshall, well, you look at Cody Fajardo here with the Alouettes. Before he was an Alouette, before he was a Rough Rider, he was a Toronto Argonaut. And he hit roommate jackpot in his early days in 2017. Him and Ricky Ray were roommates on the road. And Cody Fajardo leaned on him a lot in learning how to prepare like a pro. And in particular, Ricky Ray gave him the advice of, at the end of the day, just study your wristband and the plays on your card, because that is what coach will call. And again, Ricky Ray gave some advice to Cody Fajardo heading into the Grey Cup in 2023. He said, look, it's going to be a challenging week. There's going to be a lot on you as a starting quarterback in the first few days. Just stay the course, study when you can, and it'll all pay off. He took that advice and then became a Grey Cup champion.
Thank you, Kenzie. Yeah, amazing to see the connections there as Julian Grant refuses to go down on the little pop pass, but the interweaving of Ricky Ray and all of this story and the fact that Fajardo is here tonight as well. Fajardo, highest completion percentage right now, currently in CFL history with at least 1,500 attempts. He is 3 thousandths ahead of Trevor Harris, former Argo. Number 3 is that man, Ricky Ray.
Of course, always a hallmark for Ricky Ray, but a couple of his former backups, mentees, Cody Fajardo, Trevor Harris, Zach Collaros also on that list.
Fajardo on second and long. Will go down, a big sack here for the Argonauts, flipping field position. As into the backfield, Jordan Williams makes the play. All 6'5", 285 in his first year out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Jordan Williams. We mentioned the changing of the guard at defensive tackle for the Toronto Argonauts, a position that was a position of strength for them a year ago. So I think it speaks volumes about guys like Jordan Williams, Jared Brinkman, that they're getting this opportunity.
Sent away here by Joseph Zima. As it will drop down, Janarian Grant looks to the field side, stutters, makes 2 men miss, now a third. And even when Janarian Grant's only getting 10 or 12 yards, he is making it entertaining. Don't miss the return of the global phenomenon critics call thrilling and endlessly captivating. HBO's House of the Dragon. The new season streams tonight, only on Crave.
Yeah, hustle home and watch that one.
I'm on it. Cam Dukes is back on the field. Game-winning drive, third of his career already. Last week against the Edmonton Elks right here at BMO Field. They'll begin by looking to throw. Pressure is on. Flips it out underneath. Complete up to the 45-yard line. That time Richie Sindani, the veteran Canadian receiver here on Canada Day weekend, makes the grab as Cameron Dukes continues to pluck away. Said he doesn't really mind the quick game, get the ball out of his hands quickly because he likes completions, and this backs that up.
Yeah, very comfortable letting the playmakers make plays, put the ball in the hands of those receivers and let them go to work. You see the back-to-back game-winning drives to start the season.
Side handoff this time on 2nd down and 2, and again not much movement up front. Mustafa Johnson at the bottom of the pile as Dan Adeboboye gets a touch. Ryan Dinwiddie told us he wanted to get him more involved, Dwayne.
Yeah, Adeboboye had a big run as well last week. Mentioned in the opening, he and McMahon combined for 65 yards on 6 carries in support of Kadeem Carey, who had over 100 in that ball game.
Just like the opening drive of the game for Toronto, 2 and out, so it adds to the Alouettes tally for the season. booming boot by Haggerty. Drops down here to James Fletcher Jr. Makes two-man piss, spins backwards away from the tackler, and then is chopped down by Fraser Sopik on that sideline as KJG back to work. Half of the talented tandem of Canadian receivers leading the charge for the Montreal Alouettes and their explosive passing attack early in 2020. Grant has been putting work in early this season. Great to see him healthy on the field. Says he wants to try and stay on the field for every game all year long. It seems unfair that Philpott's got 4 touchdowns and we're still waiting for Keon to get into the end zone, Dwayne.
Yeah, just a matter of time. He has been equally terrific. As mentioned, 8 catches for each of those 2 guys last week.
Turned around here by Jonathan Jones, and once again Jordan Williams there as well. But Keon Julian Grant out here early on, working the hands, big body. He is super impressive in person.
Yeah, he really is. Fantastic athlete. A Toronto guy. Went to St. Michael's College School here in Toronto. Great football history there. His dad, Karim, of course, former CFLer. Defensive end with Hamilton and Toronto. But, you know, I think sometimes Julian Grant, because of the way last season ended with Tyson Philpott as something of a Grey Cup hero, Philpott getting off to the great start this year, I think one of the things that people overlook is the fact Keon Julian Grant was on fire to start last season until he got hurt. Week 8, he was 5th in the league in receiving and had sort of consistently been in the top 3 to 5 through that first portion of the season. And injuries took away the back half of the year from him. But having these 2 guys in the lineup together, you're seeing the electricity. First-round picks in 2019 for Julian Grant, 2022 for Tyson Philpott. I mean, this is a Montreal team that, in my opinion, really drafted its way to the Grey Cup. When you look at Julian Grant in 2019, Marc-Antoine Dubois, Pierre-Olivier Lestage, Tyson Philpott, Laurent Uduak last year, all made an impact.
Fajardo steps forward in the pocket, somehow finds a way to get the ball out of his hands, just shy of the first down marker, but nice play that time from Fajardo to Walter Fletcher. Quincy Moget was the injured Argonaut that ran off the field. I was going to say Keon Julian Grant, as good a guy as you can find. Moget right up there in that conversation as well, but off the field and an opening here for Fajardo.
Yeah, going off script, the creativity of Cody Fajardo. And this was one of the things that caught my eye about Cody very early in his career. Obviously, fantastic run for him at the University of Nevada. He played after Colin Kaepernick there, took over that offense. But Cody Fajardo in limited duty as a backup in Toronto, what really struck me was that there was an ability to make plays when things broke down.
And interesting here, they ran the offense off last second, Dwayne. They ran out the punting unit. And I thought Jason Moss was sending a message to his own team about, well, we didn't get that short yardage one earlier, but Moss walked down to the sideline official and said something about, if I challenge here, had a conversation, and then just basically pointed and said, go get the referee. I'm not even going to throw the challenge flag here. Just go get him and let's see whether or not. I
want to talk to your boss.
He might be asking about tripping here. I wonder if there's any sort of... I saw the leg stuck out here.
Montreal is challenging the ruling on the play. They believe their quarterback was tripped. We will review the play.
So Fajardo with a drop in the pocket, turning the other direction, and yeah, looks like Deadrick Hansen taking a look at the trip. Potentially, Deadrick Hansen, great global defensive end that's played for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a couple of Grey Cups. As Jason Moss wasn't happy about it, wandered down, talked to the official. What are you seeing, Dwayne?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye here on Hansen coming off the edge, and he's going to fold back underneath on the scramble.
The ruling on the field is changed.
And you saw him throw the left leg out there as Fajardo stepped up.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. We have tripping, Toronto number 90. That's a 10-yard penalty. It will be second down.
And so it goes again.
Correction, third down.
get that sorted out. Moss career challenges now 34 for
Second
80.
down. It is second down.
34 for 80, 43%. As the Alouettes did struggle with that. Last season just 3 of 12, but they get one there and it gets them a little piece of yardage and also gets them a second down opportunity without the punting unit on the field. What can Fajardo do with it? He'll hand it off to Fletcher. Oh, and a tackle for loss. Wrapped up in the backfield. And it is Robbie Smith, the Wilfrid Laurier grad, making the play.
Watch for Smith off the left edge. Getting involved here. He and Jake Serezna off the other side, both pitching hard.
Robbie Smith just made Josh Donovan's film session tomorrow a little bit worse. Busted through the right tackle's block attempt off the edge. So after all of that, with the challenge, it will be a punt anyways. As the Argonauts get possession back. And just outside the 30-yard line, Kadeem Carey leading all CFL rushers last week, 104 yards, including 3 runs of 10 yards or more.
Yeah, and what Kadeem Carey and the offensive line have been able to do in the ground game has had a lot to do with the success of Cameron Dukes thus far. Getting defenses back on their heels, anchoring in, not rushing upfield because they're worried about this guy coming the other way.
And Ryan Dinwiddie told us that he was really growing into a leadership role, and I kind of said to coach this week, because you don't know how he ended up with a free agency. We'll step away as there's an injured Alouette down on the field, as it looks as though it is Crevon LeBlanc.
And there you see the injured Montreal Alouette backup defensive back Crevon LeBlanc. And here you'll see him coming down in punt coverage, just that second man, Richie Sindani, trailing him, touches him, but I don't think there was a push there. It looked like the sniper got LeBlanc the hamstring there, as you see him grab the back of his leg as he went down, so hopefully not too serious for the first-year Alouette.
Florida Atlantic University off to the sidelines. Cam Dukes back on the field here, extends the play, rolling to his right, and completes another pass along the sideline. That one goes to Polk. That would have looked great on the data enhanced feed there. A little extension of the play from Cam Dukes.
Yeah, again, terrific protection. You're going to see Dukes has all kinds of time back there in the pocket. Nothing comes open. He moves over to find a little different perspective, where he's able to find Polk along the sideline.
Time from snap to throw. So much pride in getting it out quickly. Sometimes the ability to extend, underrated. Duke showing that here early on tonight. This time he does get it out real quick. It just skips this one into the toes out wide of Richie Sindani.
Yeah, and you see the impact of pressure here. The blitz is coming from the safety, Marc-Antoine Dequoy. The offensive line gets it picked up, but just seeing that flash in front of him forces Dukes to hurry things along. You'll see Dequoy time this one up, coming right to left on your screen. It just looked like that acceleration of his throwing motion led to the inaccuracy there for Dukes.
Watch the field return.
James Fletcher Jr. stands back by himself, waiting the kick from John Haggerty. A low-line drive boot. Gets to the waiting arms of 89 at his own 25. And wrapped up and brought down. Great special teams coverage that time by Adebaboye. Team Canada trying to book their spot in the Copa America quarters. Their last game of the group stage goes tomorrow against Chile. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on TSN. Shout out to Matthew Shinetti and the crew covering Team Canada all over the place,
yes,
man. They are all over that thing here for you on TSN. Shinetti back at BMO and on the CFL sidelines sooner rather than later. Looking forward to seeing Matty. Right now, great coverage as Cody Fajardo drops this one down underneath. Walter Fletcher skips away from one man and then pushed out of bounds. That time along the sideline by Leonard Johnson, but a solid gain once again on first down.
Yeah, the speed of Walter Fletcher allows him to get the corner here on the first defender. Move those sticks. See Jonathan Jones in pursuit. A little high step there.
A lot of similarities as Cody Fajardo continues to be perfect. High completion percentage tonight, but you see the numbers on the jersey, sure, but in terms of build, play style, Walter Fletcher, Kadeem Carey, 5'9", 207 for Carey listed, 5'9", 206 for Fletcher. Both wear number 25.
Second down.
Second down and just barely second down, but running the rock hard for their teams. Their teams are leaning into what they can do, what they bring offensively, and a battle of really the top two teams in the East Division here early on this season, and almost mirror images of each other.
Yeah, they really are. Montreal maybe going to the big play in the air more frequently than Toronto has thus far, and that's not a reflection of desire or ability to run the ball, but I think the matter of having more experience in the quarterback position than Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, this week Ryan Dinwiddie, the one thing that he wants to see Cam Dukes start to do better, he just said, well, we got to start pushing the football at some point, and I think he's looking at this guy right here, Cody Fajardo, and saying, if they're doing it, we got to play catch-up and make sure we can take those shots as well. But for now, it's second and inches as Fajardo takes the snap, whistles blow.
Timeout, Toronto.
And Moss had that look of, we didn't just take a time count, did we? In second and inches, he was about ready to light a fire under somebody, and Ryan Dinwiddie calls the timeout, but he's standing there slightly confused as well.
The officials look to get things sorted out here.
Dinwiddie almost looks like he's saying that I didn't call a timeout. Did one of my guys call timeout, like on the field, because they didn't think we had the right people in? And so we go back to second and inches. Fajardo once again digs in. Staring down Winton McManus right across the line. The big body of Fajardo drives the legs and gets just enough steam for an Alouettes first down.
Yeah, so often it's Caleb Evans coming in short yardage situations for the Alouettes. Cody Fajardo staying on in this one, a role that he, of course, filled earlier in his career, so comfortable in that situation.
Doing that under, Ricky Ray, honored at halftime, coming up. All-time Argonaut. Fajardo pumps, loads it up, checks it down underneath. It's Cole Speaker getting a first down as Fajardo goes from 1 to 2 to 3. Wanted the home run and got off it just in time to find Speaker.
Yeah, again, things going off script. You get the check down. Watch Speaker on the left side of your screen for securing things in terms of the protection. Nobody comes. He's able to leak out. Be there underneath for Fajardo. The offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and general CFL legend, Anthony Calvillo, up above for the Owls.
On the play in here from Fajardo. Goes quick screen. Kale Julian Grant trying to get through the window. It's a decent catch and run that time. Picked up by Tyson Philpott. At the end of the play, as those two told us this week, they're just kind of continuing to take their turns. Whoever's hot will ride the hot hand and just keep cheering each other on.
Yeah, that's it. And I think there are going to be a lot of times when these guys are both hot.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, last week being one of them.
As the Keon Julian Grant fan section, 60 tickets deep, with mom cheering on here in attendance tonight. Second and 4. 5-man rush. Fajardo gets it out. Wide side flags come up. It is completed. It's Rambo making the grab that time. Charleston Rambo out of the University of Miami, but the flags look like they might send it back.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Toronto number 92. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So it goes against the Argonauts. Deontay Knight.
There you see Knight lined up on the nose. Yeah, hands clearly riding up in the face mask of Justin Lawrence.
That's the gift that Justin gets for his 50th career start.
Yes.
Here tonight, playing center for the Alouettes.
Yeah, former Calgary Stampeder and Toronto Argonaut. University of Alberta Golden Bears product under Chris Morris.
Load up the boundary this time. Fajardo, quick little bootleg, flips it over the top. KJG gets the rock and gets to the 30-yard line here for a gain of 6.
Another short one to Julian Grant. Oh. Cody knows the hit's coming. Derek Parrish gets a piece of him on this one. Fajardo getting rid of the ball just in time. Julian Grant does the rest. Looks like he was thinking of going airborne there.
And that personnel grouping has to make you happy because there's 3 fullbacks.
You never have too many fullbacks, Marshall.
Dressed here tonight for the Alouettes. They had 2 of them in that time. Jacob Mason and Devin Dallaire. As Fajardo now on 2nd down and 4. Deep drop. Gets it out once again. And it is incomplete. Great play. Coming over the top that time from his corner spot, and you mentioned him off the top, just like Coach Parker did back in studio, Benji Franklin. Great reach, length, and that time physicality knocking it away.
Yeah, and you're going to see Cody Fajardo takes another shot here as he releases this ball. Jared Brinkman introducing himself to the Grey Cup winning quarterback.
Come on, 15!
Big strip there from the Argo DB.
And if that felt strange, it's because it's Cody Fajardo's first incompletion. 11 of 12 to start this football game. David Cote sends this one away and knocks it through the uprights. So Montreal extends their lead now 10-6 in a back-and-forth battle. The only major so far. Tyson Philpott with a great catch and run in the first quarter, but otherwise all field goals as these teams feeling each other out in a battle of undefeateds in the East.
Well, there you see a smooth operation from the Montreal Alouettes. Punter Jonathan Zima with the hold. David Cote with the kick.
Felt a little bit for Stephen Flintoff last night. A couple of high snaps coming up in that BC Lions game. He was putting in work as the holder. You like when those operations are status quo.
Uneventful.
Inside run this time. Darnell Sankey waiting right in the hole. And he'll add another tackle to his season tally and says hello at the end of the play to Kadeem Carey.
Yeah, a couple former Calgary Stampeders. Sankey and Carey now finding themselves over in the East and on opposite sides. A pretty good battle. Budding rivalry here between 2 teams that met in last year's East Division final.
Dukes hands it off. Cutting back again against the grain on 2nd down and 5. And they will be short. By a yard or 2 is Jeffrey Canton Arku. Rookie draft pick right there.
And you see the Alouettes loading up right at the line of scrimmage.
Toronto will go for it here. 3rd and short from their own end. They keep Dukes in. He rolls his way forward. Dylan Wynn looked like he might have been the first to have contact. This Alouettes defense that continues to be as stout as any in the Canadian Football League gives up the first down here.
And this is one of those short yardage plays that feels like you just run and lean against your offensive line until you hit a soft spot and force your way forward.
Quarterback's nightmare, though, at 6'1", 205 to straighten up and see Darnell Sankey waiting right there.
Yeah, that's not the soft spot.
Dukes this time hands it off. Now to the outside as the Argos get their running game going, but once again, it's Sankey there. He is absolutely inevitable when it comes to the running game. You might get 6, you might get 8, but number 1 will be there waiting for you at some point.
Yeah, pretty good duel between two veteran players. Sankey showing his range, tracks this one a long way. You know, so many people talk about Sankey's size, bigger linebacker by CFL standards. You think of him as a guy plug in the middle, lower in the boom, but he can move a little bit in there too.
Last play before the 3-minute warning here. As Dukes looks to throw, free rusher off the backside, and it is a sack. Jeffrey Canton-Arcou brings down Cameron Dukes and sends us to the 3-minute warning. Big play coming off the blind side. Dukes did well just to hold on to it. We'll see whether or not Montreal can do anything with the football when we return.
Your favorite analysts in the country, Enoch Mwamba, Jim Barker, Milt Stegall, and whoop, whoop.
That's the sound of the police.
Whoop, whoop.
That's the sound of the police.
Whoop, whoop. Do you like the segment, Lapo?
Love it.
Oh, Lapo got the cheap seats. Down there on the edge. That's okay. We'll see you soon, Lapo. Argonauts kick this one away. Haggerty. High winding boot that drops down inside the 15. Letcher's got something to work with here. Room on the outside. He's got the angle. Cuts it back. Makes another man miss. Now turns on the speed and across the 55. Great field position for the Montreal Alouettes, who have the best starting field position in the CFL through their first 3 games, averaging their own 41. This is better than that.
Yeah, Letcher getting out to the wide field. He can take advantage of his speed. Alouettes do a nice job setting up the wall to get him there. He just kind of floated on air as he cut that one back once he hit the sideline.
Shocking that we're 13 games into the CFL season. This game 14 of the regular season. Only 1 kick return touchdown. Devontae Dedmon for the Red Blacks last Thursday in Montreal. As Fajardo loads up, checks it down. Full speaker underneath and dives his way forward. It feels as though, to me, Dwayne, Keon Julian Grand and Tyson Philpott, all the bombs that they hit this week, when we talk about who's hot, who are they going for, it's almost like they're loading, and then Fajardo's finding these underneath routes, and Cole Speaker's having a great game.
Yeah, and a good response, I guess, in a way for both teams, is the Argos had some concerns about getting beaten by the deep balls last week against Edmonton. They don't want to give that up. Montreal finding a way to make plays. Fajardo near perfect, despite the fact that that part has been taken away.
A lot of check downs, so go underneath here again. This time it's Tyson Philpott. Side shuffles his way across the 35, and that's how you end up with that many yards after catch.
Yeah, not an easy guy to tackle. Both defenders drop off. He just hooks it up underneath. Easy completion. Let the playmaker turn it into a first down.
Good to see Quincy Moget back out there for the Toronto Argonauts. So healthy after receiving some attention earlier on. Starting Sam linebacker. Fajardo, play action. Dumps it over the top. Devin Dallaire right there. And he gets walloped just across the 30-yard line. Is short completion on first down.
Leonard Johnson, the corner, there waiting for him as that ball arrives. Dallaire, second-year man. Played a lot of snaps offensively for Montreal last year. For being sort of that Swiss Army knife in the Val Rougeant offense during his university career.
Yeah, interesting body type at that position. It was fun to look at in the CFL draft. And now Reggie White on the field for the Alouettes. Fajardo looks over the middle. And again, Cole Speaker having a day inside the 20. First down Alouettes as the clock sits at 1:13 remaining.
And it's remarkable the success that Montreal has throwing the ball when you consider all the changes they've had at receiver over the course of the last couple of years. Right? Guys like Tyler Sneed and Speaker had to step up last year because of injuries. Now Sneed out of the lineup. They just keep on rolling.
Alouettes' first trip to the score zone in this ball game. As pressure coming, Fajardo's lefty rolls away to his right, completes it. Charleston Rambo makes the grab. Across the 50, dives across the 10-yard line, and is down with, it looks like another first down here. First and goal to go for the Alouettes.
And you'll see blitz comes backside, that gets picked up, and then front side Robbie Smith, the free man, that's right in Fajardo's face. He sees it, he's able to throw off of it. And as if on cue, as we're talking about the seemingly endless clown car of productive receivers in Montreal, Charleston Rambo steps up with his first catch of the evening.
And now Jezrin Antwi checks into the ballgame. First time we've seen the two running backs set. And Antwi alongside Fletcher. Fajardo, pressure on, gets it away. It's incomplete. Good coverage, and a man out wide as they tried to get Julian Grant his first touchdown of the season.
A well-timed blitz there from the Argos. You're going to see off that right edge, Jonathan Jones kind of walk to it. Defensive version of the waggle. Walking up, rolling, getting a rolling start on that one. It was across the line of scrimmage before anyone could react to it.
Little taste of their own medicine. That felt like a Noel Thorpe Montreal blitz. Deep down inside the score zone. So now Fajardo, second and goal. Fullback Dallaire stays in to protect. Cody steps up in the pocket, now spins away, has to create, flips it underneath. Dallaire makes the grab and is wrapped up shy of the goal line. And he was down before the ball came out on the tackle, but Cody spinning and somehow finding David Dallaire. And what will the Alouettes do now?
Well, I love this escape because he didn't really go anywhere. Just kind of turned around on the spot and lost the defenders. Dallaire, check release. Sets up the Alouettes for this short yardage opportunity.
There's no analytic for this, but nobody spins in place more effectively in the CFL than Cody Fajardo. He certainly finds a way to buy a little bit of extra time in the pocket consistently. And the Alouettes will simply take the points here, headed towards the half. Not tempting fate down by the goal line. David Cote sends this one up and spikes it for an extra 3 points on the board. 13-6. Montreal leads. And another successful drive here for Cody Fajardo, and crazy to think, again, at this time last year, struggling, trying to figure it out. What's the playbook like? How do we get used to this Jason Moss offense? And this year they've had a couple of games where they've taken huge shots and all the rest, but certainly in a great rhythm, which will be discussed by the halftime crew. Coming up, Kate, Enoch, Coach Barker, and Milt Stiegel, who put the hair back on last night. Got to bring that back every Thursday night, Milt.
Yes, sir. Milton Stiegel. I want to see he and Enoch do a couple more one-on-ones in studio.
It's a mismatch.
Well, depends what kind of one-on-ones they're doing.
Well, we are headed towards the Summer Olympics here in 2024, so I'm not against an Enoch, Milt, or Chesney in there maybe. Full Olympic ringer throughout the CFL season. See what we can cook up. In the meantime, the panel will break down a 13-6 advantage for the home run, it looks like right now. So doing a good job, but they certainly want to be able to get them off the field and limit some of those possessions, because these are the top two teams in average starting field position. And when they get in opponent territory, they're pretty high percentage of being able to get points.
Yeah, it's been, the battle has, I think, lived up to its advanced hype.
Yeah.
These two teams had the much anticipated matchup in the East Final last year. Considered a big upset at the time for the Alouettes, but considering the role that they were in the midst of then and that has continued, maybe not so much of an upset.
Fletcher Jr. gets things underway here with the return for the Alouettes as Tyson Philpott picks up right where he left off in week number 3, making catch after catch after catch, and the only major right now.
Yeah, got things started on the scoreboard. Of course, Cody Fajardo's favorite target. Tyson Philpott always a threat to score, and he did right just that. In the first half of this ball game, as you said, Marsh, the game's only major thus far.
Yeah, he's caught 27 of his 31 targets on the season as well, as Fajardo sets up a screen to get things going offensively. Walter Fletcher scored on one of those to the left-hand side against Edmonton back in week number 2, as Cody slow up onto his feet and looks no worse for wear as Fletcher picks up a couple.
Yeah, you just heard Winton McManus talk about trying to make Cody Fajardo uncomfortable back there. I suspect having a couple of those big bodies landed on top of him make him very uncomfortable. And in fact, now the Alouettes quarterback heading to the sidelines.
He was immediately frustrated that he thought he could have gotten a call for a late hit, but now heads towards the sideline, takes a knee at the 55, and Caleb Evans will warm up. Just 2 of 2 on the season, primarily in short yardage here, but of course does have CFL starting experience, so we'll see whether it's spot duty for a couple of plays or something more as we get another look at the hit that has brought Fajardo to a knee at midfield.
And the way he got up looked like an ankle. He got those cleats caught in the turf as he was rolling back. Jake Serezna on top of him.
And Serezna's one of those that, as Cody gets up onto his feet and escorted to the sideline, haven't called a lot of Serezna's games. Of course, traded for Curly Gittins Jr. in the offseason here, and putting down heights and weights leading into this one. You forget 6'5", 291.
Yeah.
Like, for a guy that moves like that, I had completely forgotten the size that Jake Serezna has, but there's a reason he was Edmonton's best defender for the last couple of seasons, and they had to give up something to get something. They got Curly Gittins Jr. They had to give up that man. And so Fajardo watches on alongside Jason Moss as Caleb Evans at the controls for the Alouettes on 2nd and 6. Short drop, look to throw, holds onto the football, a flag comes in, and sacked in the backfield. Evans goes down with hesitancy, and Robbie Smith shaking his head.
Yeah, just appeared in reaching, trying to make a play here.
Face mask, Toronto, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's Robbie Smith, number 40, playing that left defensive end spot on the twist. He gets some penetration, reaching, trying to bat the ball down. You saw his left hand come down, catch the face mask of Caleb Evans.
So Evans gets wrapped up. Fajardo looked like he was trying to get back into the ball game here after just one step. The train steps in. No, that's not the protocol. So he'll have to wait on once again. So Evans, after taking a sack, gets a first down. This time fakes the run and now throwing it in behind. Intended receiver Reggie White. Falls incomplete as Parrish putting the pressure on with Jones off the edge for the double blue.
Yeah, and you're seeing that desire from the Toronto Argonauts, particularly now with Evans stepping into the ball game to send a little bit of heat after the backup quarterback. A couple of unblocked guys coming off that offensive left side.
Co-defensive coordinators here in Kevin Ivan and Will Fields. Who do you think's calling all these blitzes up? It feels like an Ivan call to send all that pressure on the quarterback, as Evans will throw once again underneath, little tunnel screen. Flags come down again. Cole Speaker tripped up. And there's an Argo down at the 50-yard line. Grabbing at his lower body. We got bodies in the backfield. We got flags up.
Yeah, it looks like Quincy Moget again, slow to get up.
Just had the sack a minute ago when it got taken away by the Robbie Smith face mask penalty. And yeah, it is Moget back down on the turf.
Well, Cody Fajardo, in the meantime, has made his way back into the Owls' offensive huddle.
Well, Caleb Evans, a tough couple of plays, but got through the 3 that he covered in spot duty there, as Moget very gingerly gets back up onto his feet. Former BC Lion, started out at free safety, made his way over here in a numbers cut for the Lions.
Roughing the passer, Toronto number 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow. So a face mask goes against Robbie Smith, and then Jake Serezna guilty here.
Yeah, Serezna on the nose, straight bull rush, and he's off balance as he's bull rushing, and with a screen type play, the offensive lineman's letting him go. He's got all his weight leaning forward. Stumbles in, and it is a low hit. It's the right call, even though unintentional from Serezna.
6 penalties for 60 yards so far for the Argonauts here tonight. Quick throw this time. Julian Grant catches the slant from Cody Fajardo. Back in the huddle, back in the shotgun, and back on the stat sheet with another completion. First down, Alouettes.
And here you see the strength of Julian Grant. The defender draped on him, grabbing at his arm, just fights through it, focuses on that football. Catch it in his hands and make a play for his quarterback.
The Alouettes more score zone opportunities than any team in the CFL coming into week number 4. They've been down here a lot, gotten a lot of reps. Score zone passing, they're 10 of 12, 83% completion and 4 touchdowns. Fajardo looks to throw again. It is complete. Oh no! Rolls away after a huge hit as Julian Grant had those strong hands on it for a second and had his legs chopped out. Jonathan Edward looks like the player that made the play.
Yeah, Edward getting an opportunity to get some defensive snaps in the absence of Quincy Moget. Julian Grant has this one.
We're on the same page, Mom.
Doesn't survive that contact with the ground, the landing. Ball pops free.
Double whammy that time. Mason Pierce finishing it off after the hit by Edwards. So second down and 10. Pressure on from the Argonauts. Fajardo has to get rid of it. He does. Takes a hit. Misses the throw deep. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Deshaun Amos furious with himself. But it will be a stop for the Argonauts defense.
Jonathan Jones again, trying to time that one up, supplying a little pressure off the edge. Maybe contributing to that one sailing a little long on Cody Fajardo. For Reggie White, who had a couple of touchdowns in his comeback game last week.
Cote with another chip shot here, remains perfect on the season. And it will cost the Argonauts 3. But David Cote being able to knock this one through. Amos almost had it. 10-point game. Montreal up over Toronto. Cam Dukes, the first Argonauts quarterback to have 2 straight game-winning drives to start a season. Here's how he looks at the start of his 3rd effort in 2024.
Yeah, see Cameron Dukes using his legs a little bit to start this one off, but it's been that same kind of high percentage, take what they give you pass game in the early going.
Another quick flipper this time.
You know, pressure in this game may be impacting Dukes a little bit more than we saw it in the first couple weeks of the season. But I think that's to be expected for any quarterback, not just a young guy. Still doing a good job taking care of the football.
Tommy Neal makes the grab on that last pass. Now this one's low and away, but it is complete. Richardson Danny digs it out of the turf. Dave Ruffin, who was injured last week. Good to see him back in the Alouettes defensive secondary.
Yeah, ball's out quickly and on time. Again, you see a clean pocket for Dukes to work. Offensive line doing their part.
And this one low and away as well. As DeVaris Daniels, haven't said his name much at all tonight, but they'll spot it as completed right now, and a little injection of life and energy thanks to Ryan Dinwiddie going with the hurry up.
Yeah, this one coming in a little bit low. Thought that might be challenged by Montreal, but
Duke steps forward this time, looks to use his legs, slides down. Darnell Sankey right there. Marks it down by contact. As Dukes again pops right back onto his feet and already signaling the next play.
Yeah, again, middle opens up for him to take off. Does a good job getting down and protecting himself.
5 receivers available for Dukes. Pressure on. Back pedal, back pedal. Beverett right there with the pressure, and this one thrown into traffic, as it looks like it is actually completed to Rasheed Bailey. But Beverett doing Beverett things in the backfield once again, harassing quarterbacks.
Yeah, Beverett gets picked up, but a little juke inside allows him to beat Kadeem Carey, but good effort from Dukes to still get the pass away.
And a rapid drive comes to an immediate conclusion here as they sit at the 32-yard line. And so this attempt comes from 39.5, 40 yards out. And there Hairolahu. Field goal battle here to open things up in the third quarter. That man honored right here at BMO Field. Ceremony at halftime honoring now the 27th all-time Argonaut right here at BMO Field. Kenzie Lalonde is standing field side with the legend, Ricky Ray.
Yes, the man of the night, Ricky Ray, joining me now here at Fieldside. Back in Toronto, you're donning the double blue again. To be back here to get such a great response from the fans when you're accepting your plaque. Just how significant is this night for you?
Yeah, it's a huge night for me. You know, I told them I was so grateful that they believed in me and gave me an opportunity to come here in 2012 and be able to play 7 seasons here, a couple championships, and share a lot of great moments with them is pretty special.
2 Grey Cup championships here with the Argos. We always got to miss the nights on the bus rides in the hotels. When you look back, what are some of those standout moments?
Yeah, I mean, those are some of the fun memories as well. Hanging with the guys on road trips, you know, busing to practice, busing to games. Just all those behind-the-scenes moments that you got to share with those guys. And then the big payoff was winning and going to the locker room after the game and getting to celebrate with everybody.
Well, lastly, you kind of said in your speech you missed coming down the tunnel. So that begs the question, what are the chances of you getting behind the bench here in a coaching career in the CFL?
Hopefully one day. I mean, I'd love to be back in this game and in this league, and hopefully, you know, I get a chance to coach at some point.
Sure, fans can't wait. Thanks for the time.
Yes, thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Kenzie. It's great to hear from Ricky Ray. I got to say, as a young quarterback growing up, perfect time to watch Ricky Ray on the CFL on TSN every night.
Holding Montreal, number 84.
Just watching him
penalty,
throw those darn corner routes.
Repeat first down.
And going, how?
Yeah,
How does he throw it that gently and make it always land in the perfect spot? And how does he get enough pace on the football while making it look like he's not actually throwing it at all?
Yeah, Ricky Ray to Jason Tucker was something of a staple in Edmonton. And obviously a great run here in Toronto as well. Heard them talk on the panel at halftime about the fact that he was that guy for 2 different organizations.
Yeah. Speaking of corner routes, this one off the mark from a former protege, and Cody Fajardo intended for Reggie White after Tyson Philpott had a block in the back penalty that backed them up into a tough down and distance. But amazing to have Fajardo here. Obviously, Jason Moss, the connection with him, alongside Ricky Ray, the Edmonton-Toronto pipeline. Danny Machocha involved in all of that as well. Coach Barker back in studio. I mean, everybody's got a connection point to Ricky Ray. And that's how you know you're one of the game's legends. Now 2nd down and 20. They barely get this one off, or do they? And
timeout, Montreal.
so Jason Moss has to burn it, but gives us a chance to look back at some of the great moments of Ricky Ray's career, and all of these are iconic, whether it's the 100th or 2017 in the snow. Certainly in double blue, he made his mark.
Yeah, immediate impact after being traded from Edmonton. He and Scott Milanovich certainly clicking as quarterback and coach, coming together for, as you said, a couple of the greatest moments in Toronto Argonaut history.
Timer, please reset the game clock to 8:01.
every time. They've brought Ricky Ray up on the Jumbotron here tonight. He's got a rousing ovation, as he should. Fajardo this time checks it down underneath. Jeffrey Antwi looks to do the dribble kick. Once again trying to reset the downs. Was he behind the original line of scrimmage trying to dribble it the same way that he did a couple of times last year?
Antwi looks pretty confident. Executed that pretty well. As you said, the only question is location when he kicked the ball.
And they'll look at it back in the command center to make sure the original line of scrimmage, as long as he's behind.
Antwi lines up tight to the formation. This ends up looking like a screen type route. You see him doing a good job dropping back from the line. He's just behind the line when he kicks it.
They debated it in the offseason. They left it in. A uniquely CFL play works for the Alouettes yet again as they take advantage of the way it's written up. It was an interesting discussion in the offseason. Okay, this play seems ridiculous. Shouldn't you have to kick it to the actual first down marker, not the original line of scrimmage? And I looked at it and thought, well, it's in the rule book. If you want to defend and bail out, play zone, why not allow this?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. And obviously the interpretation is a ball kicked from behind the line of scrimmage constitutes change of possession. He's the kicker. He's onside. He can recover it without giving 5 yards. Change of possession, first down.
Essentially an onside punt to yourself recovered is now Fajardo. The first and 10 will get wrapped up high. But he is a runner in that situation, crossing the line of scrimmage, so not afforded the passer protection and a minimal gain on the play.
And big Jordan Williams, number 95, gets in another play here, shedding the block. Getting a piece of the Alouette quarterback. Not to be confused with linebacker Jordan Williams, played with the Argos last season, traded to Hamilton in the offseason before retiring.
Quick slant, Charleston Rambo makes the grab, and that will be close. Looks just short from our view at the first down marker, but they are inside the 45, and Jason Moss already on the headset, getting the next call ready.
Yeah, quick hitter just getting inside position on his defender is Charleston Rambo. Quick slant from outside.
Caleb Evans comes off the side long, alongside Devin Dallaire. Fullback checks in. Christian Matt as well, veteran. First round pick back in 2010, extra offensive lineman. The role he's taken to start 2024. As third and a full one. Evans rolls to his right, throws it over the top, lobs it, drops it in. Cole Speaker, touchdown Owls. Little trickeration from Caleb Evans, who had a tough stretch in spot duty earlier, and now answers the bell. Flicks it over the top to Speaker, and the Alouettes extend their lead.
Gonna quote my friend Paul LaPolice back in the studio, who's often said, creativity is rewarded in the Canadian Football League. And this drive speaks loudly to that point as you see the onside punt for a first down. And then the creative deep pass over the top. It's short yardage, perfectly executed by Montreal, creating points.
Third and one. To put 6 on the board. 44 big ones from Evans. The fadeaway touchdown toss. 23-9. Alouettes. And Fajardo loves it.
As the number 2 receiver at the end of the line, he's just going to go. Caleb Evans gives it a little duck like he's going to get in behind the line of scrimmage and just lofts it up there. And here you see he takes a little peek, quick peek left, make sure we're lined up properly. The fadeaway throw over the top, let Cole Speaker go get it. Perfectly executed. Nicely manufactured points there from the Montreal Alouettes.
Low line drive that bounces off the hands of Dan Adeboboye. And he picks it up and crosses the 35 out to the 40. Adeboboye did great to get any field position. Sneaky eyes of Caleb Evans. being able to create points, as you say, Dwayne, manufacturing them out of thin air.
Yeah, you see him just
Hey, chill.
put the ball up and wait to see how it turns out.
Caleb Evans is a good reminder that football's supposed to be fun.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. It was fucking good. I know, I didn't want no fucking
He and Speaker enjoy their success on the bench. And all of a sudden, Cameron Dukes is staring down a 23-9 disadvantage. Flip this one out on a swing route. I'd like to get this man going, Kadeem Carey.
Yeah, this is it. When you look at the way the Argos season has gone thus far, always a good idea to put the ball in the hands of Kadeem Carey when you need a little boost.
Once again, the Argonauts will go quickly. Hand it off. Carey up through the tackles. Bounces off 2 tacklers, now 3. And makes his way down inside the 45-yard line. Is Darnell Sankey getting into it behind the play with somebody. There's a flag out. And it looks like, yeah, it might have been number 66, the left tackle, in his 25th game started here this evening, Isaiah Cage.
And this is where there will probably be an important reminder on the sidelines about discipline from Al's head coach, Jason Moss.
Offsetting misconduct fouls, Toronto number 66, Montreal number 1. First down.
We've talked to Jason Moss over the last couple of weeks. He talked about the loss to Toronto down the stretch last year as a bit of a turning point in their season. They haven't lost since that one, but there are some concentration and discipline lapses that were addressed after that game. The team cleaned them up, responded accordingly, and has been unbeatable ever since.
And off to the short side of the field, got the McMahon. A little bit of lightning to the thunder maybe of Kadeem Carey in that Argonauts backfield, and the offensive line moving bodies up front. It's the first down.
Yeah, Toronto getting back to their bread and butter. Their offense is built around being able to run the football, letting their offensive line, the strength of their team, dictate things.
Pressure look, they get it out, back to DeMonte Coates. He's got room here, into the short side of the field. And that's one of those play calls that you just kind of luck into a blitz coming from that side and screen it right back the other way. And the Argonauts back quickly to the line of scrimmage, fans into it, offense flowing, and they go back to the same play call, this time knocked up in the air, and it'll go as a knockdown for Tyrese Beverett.
I don't think he had one of those last week.
No, you got to add a knockdown, because the forced fumble, the fumble recovery, the interception, the sack weren't enough last week.
Yeah, and you're going to see him coming off the left side of your screen, end defender on the line. He's the unblocked man. He comes free. This close to picking it off.
Yeah, he was thinking, you're always asking guys what do they like as defensive plays. He was thinking knockdown, interception, touchdown. That one hanging dangerously in the air. Now Dukes looks to throw, gets it out of his hands, comes back against the grain. Rasheed Bailey wrapped up and brought down. East Leon, the one that makes the play there, and Ryan Dinwiddie intensely ratcheted up here. 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter, down 23-9.
You saw Jeffrey Canton-Arcu already has a sack in this ball game, in on that tackle. Playing a lot of snaps defensively, as Montreal likes to use different personnel packages. Add him to the list, Montreal's first-round pick this year, of guys making an impact. Montreal's drafted players coming in, making an impact for a contending team. Linebacker from Quebec, started his college career at Syracuse before transferring to Memphis.
Another great young Canadian here on Canada Day weekend. Great to have you with us as the Argonauts looking to dig their way back into this ball game. Play clock down, and they're just going to ice it on third down. Dinwiddie decides not to go.
Time count, Toronto number 11, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Guess don't have to have the desperation as of yet, but
yeah, lots of time left in this football game. Ryan Dinwiddie opts to take the points.
What do you take away from that drive if you're the Argonauts?
Well, it's a great response, right? Because you look at Montreal with a couple of...
reset the game.
I don't even want to...
2:33. 2:33.
I don't even want to call them trick plays, but the creative plays that kind of had Toronto back on their heels, caught them off guard a little bit defensively. The offense came out and responded to the touchdown in fine fashion, marching down the field.
Hiralahu rewards his coach, deciding to take the 3, 23-12. With 2:29 remaining in the third quarter. Cameron Dukes figuring it out on the sidelines. Work to do here.
Traveling from Iowa City, so to get to Toronto here, that's an 11-hour drive. The road trip today got them in at noon, and then they'll leave early tomorrow morning. So you're looking at about a 22-hour drive to see their son play and be in Toronto for maybe about 12 hours. There's a method to the madness. Dad Mike usually takes over around Chicago, tackles the city driving to get them here, and for Jared, it means so much to have his parents in attendance to watch him play some pro ball.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump, Kenzie.
Well, so what I'm hearing is I shouldn't complain about the 45 minutes of traffic.
This one hung up down that wide side. Charleston Rambo, did he get a toe down? They'll say no, incomplete. But a heck of an effort from Rambo that time. They've been raving about him all throughout training camp, the ability to go up and get it.
Yeah, Fajardo gets good protection here. Time for the long ball to develop, fading away towards that sideline. There you see Jared Brinkman. Hand stuck in the... Thumb stuck in the face mask of Pierre-Olivier Lestage.
Parents drove all that way just to see the thumb get stuck. Brinkman digs in here again on 2nd and 10, this time underneath. Crossing route, and another big night for Cole Speaker, as he's over 100 yards now, had 49 yards on the season coming into tonight.
How about this for the depth in the Alouettes receiving core is just when you think they're going to lock in to Phil Pott and Julian Grant, Cole Speaker comes through with a 100-yard night last week. Reggie White as well, over 80 yards, a couple touchdowns. We get another look at the Brinkmans.
I told you, honey, his thumb stuck. 1st and 10, Fajardo sets up the screen. Walter Fletcher has some room. Great rallying again from this Argonauts defense. Quinton McManus and Jared Brinkman.
There you go, Jared Brinkman. Absolute monster during his college career at Northern Iowa. Spending a whole lot of time behind the line of scrimmage, wreaking havoc.
Not much more underrated play than a D-tackle turning and chasing down a screen. Brinkman does it there, which sets up 2nd and long. Fajardo, pressure on from behind, he doesn't know it's there, tripped up. And we'll see where they spot. It looks like a yard or two shy of the first down marker. It was that Derek Parrish picking him up and putting him down to track down Fajardo.
Yeah, good effort play there from Parrish, the first-year defensive end. University of Houston
Illegal
product.
contact, Toronto number 30, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty woes continue, so John Jones called for that one.
And Montreal coming back with a strong response drive of their own here.
Done it so many times already this season, just week 4, but they've found a way to answer. It's Taylor Julian Grant. So Statue of Liberty trying to open up a running lane that time for Walter Fletcher. And it'll be a gain of 5.
Yeah, Fletcher using the wheels to bounce this one around the corner. Making it 2nd and manageable.
There really is an art to those. I'm not blocking, but I am blocking.
Yes.
That's no more crackbacks and no blocking towards your own goal line. These players have figured it out pretty quickly over the last couple of years.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to just get in the way.
Fajardo looks a quick throw, gets it out. Rambo digs his way down to the turf. And it will be a first down for the Montreal Alouettes, threatening to extend their 23-12 lead as we head to the fourth and final quarter. The Alouettes have not trailed in any game heading to the fourth this season. That trend continues in week number 4, but will they move to 4-0? We find out coming up. The conclusion from BMO. Desperation time yet, Dwayne, but certainly inching towards that because Montreal is not giving up much in the way of time of possession.
Well, that's been one of the interesting shifts through that third quarter, right? Is Montreal holding on to the football a little bit where Toronto had a slight edge in time of possession to this point, limiting their possessions, now down by a couple of scores. They've got to find a way to get some points on the board in a hurry here.
It's been the formula for both of these teams in successful starts, is trying to limit the turnovers, own the time of possession, convert on second down. They've been pretty good at it. Now a battle in the fourth. With an 11-point Montreal advantage and the football with first and 10. A little pump from Fajardo, taking a shot over the top to Philpott. Can he outrun the coverage? Into double coverage. It's intercepted. The Argonauts pick it off as Fajardo tries to hit the home run on the first play of the fourth, and the Argos take back possession.
That was hurt by the deep ball a week ago comes up big here. Now watch, Philpott's going to go down the outside, but also keep an eye on Can Julian Grant in the middle of the field as this one gets thrown. Contested ball, but meanwhile number 11 wide open in the middle of the field. It's a free safety. Royce Mechie bailed right away to get over top on Philpott. Jonathan Edward out of Carleton, an American player with national status by virtue of having played U Sports football, makes the play.
And off carry as his battle continues with Darnell Sankey. It is a physical one. Just the second interception of the season for Cody Fajardo. His first was back in week number 1 against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Just a bad decision in week 1. Tossed it over the middle, got picked off. And that one he probably wants back as well, throwing it up into double coverage with Royce Mechie right there to cover down. And so Toronto has the football, but this Montreal defense does not give up much of anything. They'll play 2nd and 5. Dukes, quarterback draw, going nowhere. And is that Canton Arcou once again? It is. The rookie in the backfield brings down Dukes.
Yeah, staking his claim for more playing time on this Alouette defense. See him as a stand-up defender, loops to the inside. If he hadn't come up with the tackle, it might have been a holding call on the defender, or excuse me, the blocker grabbing him in the back of his jersey.
Haggerty set to kick this one away. Starting field position again for these two teams, elite in the CFL. As this one a low dribbler that bounces high. Flag comes up. Fletcher catches it on the run, crosses the 55, and is brought down at the Toronto 52. As Jeffrey Canton Arcou, highly thought of in the draft process. Great pro day, gets taken by the Alouettes and thriving in Montreal. If you're going to be a top-flight franchise in any league, you got to have memorable builders, and certainly the Toronto Argonauts are not short on them. And Bob Obilovich in the house this evening is Bill Manning and Pinball Clemens presenting him as part of the celebrations here tonight that you have multiple connections to, Dwayne.
Well, I'll tell you, this is pretty cool to me because 2 of those guys are among the 6 Hall of Fame head coaches that I've played for in my life. My high school coach, Peter Martin, great member of the Toronto Argonauts organization in many different capacities over the years, from player to broadcaster, president of the Alumni Association. I played here for Bob Obilovich in 94 and 95. That was a guy who gave me a great opportunity in my career, gave me my first opportunity to be a starter. And, you know, I am forever grateful for that. But to Peter Martin, as I said, a guy who was my my high school coach, and I followed him to Western, followed him to playing for the Toronto Argonauts, followed him to teaching at Port Credit High School and working in broadcasting. He's never led me astray.
Fantastic connection points. As always, is this one thrown back across the body. Fajardo, not gun shy after having that interception, completes it, and Reggie White, a couple of touchdowns, only had 4 catches in that game last week against Ottawa. 2 of them were majors, and back on the stat sheet here.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo forced out of the pocket here. Keeps those eyes downfield. Reggie White, talked about his story last week. This is a guy who missed all of 2023 with a major knee injury. Finally made his return in week 3. Had been a 700-yard receiver for this team in 22.
Inside run, look, flipped out to Tyson Philpott. They're trying to script up a touch for 6, and he's down the sideline free, adding to his yards after catch tally. A late flag comes out as well along the far sideline. That felt like Jason Moss said, okay, we haven't gotten Tyson a touch in way too long. Let's find something.
Well, this is it. We talk about these teams when they need it, getting back to their bread and butter.
Unnecessary roughness, misconduct foul, Toronto number 30, 15-yard penalty at the end of the play, first down.
And we'll see the tail end of this one as you see the screen to Tyson Philpott. There's a couple lead blockers out front.
It looks like he chucked Reggie White at the end of the play, maybe.
Yeah, right on the left side of your screen. You saw him dump the receiver, Reggie White, behind the play.
Pressure on here from the Argos. They screen it away again to Keon Julian Grant. Can't get away from the tackle. Looks like Deshaun Amos was the one that held on to the leg of Keon Julian Grant, wouldn't let him go, so it's a tackle for loss on a screen play.
Yeah, and this is a terrific play by Deshaun Amos, as we've talked before about how hard Julian Grant is to bring down. Deceptively strong guy playing in a receiver position. He's often able to run through that first tackle, but Amos just wraps up and holds on long enough to get a little bit of help.
2nd and 7 plus. The Alouettes second best in the CFL converting. Can they do it here? Little inside handoff draw going nowhere as Walter Fletcher brought down behind by Robbie Smith.
Yeah, Smith coming from the left side of your screen at his DN spot. Tries that quick swim inside. Eventually able to scrape over there and make the play.
Justin Lawrence is getting beat up tonight. That time Fletcher falling into the legs of his center, who's trying to get a block on the next level. And back up onto his feet to the sideline, and out comes the field goal unit 45 yards away. Cote lines it up. Inside 10 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. And this kick will sail wide to the left. Bringing it out of the end zone. Avery Ellis, defensive lineman, tries to tackle by the hair that time of Janarian Grant, who keeps on chugging. And somehow was able to make his way out of the end zone, despite Ellis, the athletic backup defensive end, trying to make the play. Technically part of the uniform. The hair is legal. Doesn't feel legal when you watch the replay of it, but that's what the rule book says.
The ruling here on the hair pull, as you said, is it's considered part of the uniform, so that's a legal play. But based on where the hair is, if it's considered part of the uniform, should it not be treated as a horse collar tackle? To me, logically, if you're making the argument that it's legal, you should say that it's not part of the uniform.
There might be a tweak in the rule book moving forward. The language of it is a nice accurate throw inside. That time leading Tavares Daniels up the field from Cameron Dukes. They'll go quick once again. His first 3 games at home here for the Argonauts only happened before in 1946 and 2001. They got a home winning streak going as well, and as they try to crank up the tempo, they're trying to continue their home regular season winning streak. They get set with Janarian Grant at the bottom of your screen. Dukes looks that direction, gets it out quickly as Canton Arcu alongside Nafis Leon will bring down Tavares Daniels with another grab.
Canton Arcu continues to be a presence here tonight. Nonetheless, big second down here for Cameron Dukes and the Argos.
Dukes looking into traffic, intercepted, overthrew it, coming back is Deontay Ruffin, looking for a couple of blocks in front, all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And with an 11-point lead and 8 minutes remaining, Cam Dukes throws an interception. Flags come out at the end of the play as well. Little scuffle as they clear things up. But Cameron Dukes, so clean, so accurate for so much of the early part of this season, misses the mark high, and Ruffin makes him pay. Alouettes possession when we return.
Fresh. I know you don't want that.
A little confusion being noticed there by Noel Thorpe, showing his defensive backs as here's the interception, Dwayne.
Yeah, looking for the inside receiver there. Tavares Daniels, ball sails a little bit into the waiting hands of Deontay Ruffin. We talked earlier about Montreal trying to get Dukes out of his comfort zone, and they did.
Jardo slings this one incomplete on first down. First interception of the season for Cameron Dukes.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit of, as time becomes the enemy, desperation forcing Dukes to throw the ball deeper. As we take a look at Cody Fajardo taking a shot here. Robbie Smith beats the block of fullback David Dallaire. Fajardo's taken a few shots tonight, Mark.
Yeah, no doubt. Goes to the point of how good quarterback play has been in the CFL to start this season. Week 4, Fajardo just threw his second interception. Dukes his first. Fajardo over the middle, complete. Reggie White catches it at the 5, cuts back, leans to the end zone. And what will they say? No signal. Cody Fajardo over the middle of the field. Same look as when he caught Tyson Philpott with a touchdown earlier on, and they'll spot it at the 1.
Yeah, working towards the middle. Reggie White, who had those 2 touchdowns in his triumphant return to the field last week, very nearly adds his 3rd of the season, but you see his knees down before that ball crosses the front plane of the goal line.
Tyshawn Blackburn alongside Royce Mechie, couple Canadians racking up. Reggie that time just shy of the goal line, so the heavies come out here, including Mustafa Johnson, for the offensive huddle of the Alouettes. Full speaker splits out to the top of your screen as Johnson looks like went to the wrong side. Tyson Philpott waves him back. Caleb Evans in at quarterback leads his way forward to that left-hand side, and no push up front. 2nd down and goal.
Another one where he's sliding, trying to find a soft spot to get north-south, but the Toronto D just flattens out that offensive line in a hurry.
Quinton McManus staring it down on the other side, just like Darnell Sankey has been all night for the Montreal Alouettes defense. As McManus, one of the very best all-around linebackers in the Canadian Football League, the lone man who will read the play from about 2 yards depth off the ball. Evans digs in, slides to the left-hand side, touchdown Alouettes.
We just talked about this last night. Right. Why you so close to my dog? Out of here, man.
And you'll see McManus is the linebacker. He's picking a spot, trying to go over the top to get Caleb Evans. Evans ducks underneath him as he slides left. This time there is a soft spot. He finds it en route to the end zone.
Handshakes all around for the Alouettes offense as they get set to have 3rd 30 points once again here on the evening, averaging 32.3 coming into the ball game. So despite the fact that they took all those checkdowns early on, Fajardo had all the high completion percentage he could get. They look like they're still on pace for the number that they have been hitting over their first 4 games, which appears to be a 4-0 start for the Alouettes.
Family right here. Come on, love you.
And here you see points off turnover for the Montreal Alouettes. Caleb Evans finishing off that abbreviated drive.
Last Thursday we were in Montreal for their home tour celebrating the Grey Cup. Shot of Anthony Calvillo. We talked about the high completion percentage for Cody Fajardo and the impact Calvillo has had. Well, how about this? This will be the first Alouettes 4-0 start since 2009.
Here you go, a Grey Cup season.
Fajardo's jersey signals that his night might be done. A lot of grass stains on that thing here in Toronto. Lotte sends it away, and this one again gets away from Adam Aboye. Janarian Grant is back there, and now even more trouble, and down at the 5-yard line. What a mess in the kick return department that time for the Argonauts specials.
And tough situation to be in, down 18. Adam Aboye, the returner on the right. Like he might have lost it in the lights there for a second, just misjudged the trajectory of that ball coming in. Then in the panic to pick it up, had a little bit of trouble. The Argos find themselves 104 yards away from the opposition goal line.
He's trying to bounce back from the earlier interception, now holding on to the football, finally decides to check it down. Quality couple of yards after the catch that time. Go to Kadeem Carey. We said earlier, it's hard to imagine that he just kind of fell into the waiting arms of the Argonauts. Said he only had 2 teams he was interested in free agency. Toronto was one of them. And they called. It was pretty much a done deal. He knew it was the right fit as they play second down here. Quick throw out to the left of Dukes. That is complete. Demonte Coxey makes the grab.
And this is the Argos taking what's given to them, as they kind of have to, given the field position right now. But
coming back to the football, big grab that time by Tommy Neal, but wrangled and pulled backwards quickly. And you can feel the discomfort in this Argos offense, trying to go hurry up as they get it out to the sideline here. And Kabian Ento, in concert with Najee Murray, brings Neal back, but this is not their comfort level, as Neal will go to the sideline. They've been able to kind of dictate their own pace throughout their first 2 wins, and this is certainly not that.
yeah, I mean, their mindset has been all about not forcing things. And the fact is, you look at the interception, Duke's first interception thrown of the season, because they're getting into a point in this game where they have to force things.
So 3-man rush this time, drop out 9, they'll check it down once again. Kadeem Carey rambles down the right sideline. Solid pickup before he heads to the bench. And it will be a first down. Tommy Neal checked over by the training staff after that big hit from Kabian Ento and Najee Murray's. Dukes, quick game, looks out to the side, poke. That's complete as well. And Defease Leon right there to wrap him up.
Yeah, and when you're Montreal, you're in a situation where your whole mission here is nothing goes over our heads. We can't give up a big chunk, right? Big chunk is time efficient for Toronto, which is the one thing Montreal doesn't want.
Into the middle of the defense that time, as Rasheed Bailey found a little bit of wiggle room in between the zones, moves the sticks across midfield.
Well, nice throw there from Dukes to take one of those big chunks that have been so few and far between today.
Pressure coming this time from the Alouettes. Man coverage across the board. They forced it out of Duke's hand, and rough it right there on coverage. Incomplete, intended for Mackay Pope. As we have hit the 3-minute warning here in Toronto. Looks like one streak will continue. Another, the home winning streak in the regular season of the Argos, coming to a close. Welcome back to Toronto. Inside 3 minutes we go as Cameron Duke still trying to create some offense here. Chased down and throws it towards the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Richie Sindani. The Argonauts' first game against the East this year. They began with wins against BC and Edmonton. Close wins in both of them. 10-0 against the East last year. En route to going 16-2 in the regular season, but the Montreal Alouettes have very quickly snatched up the title of kind of beasts of the East, the threat that everybody sees coming based on this first month of the CFL season.
Yeah, last month of last season, first month of this season. Consider that the Toronto Argonauts did not lose at home all of last year.
Incredible as Cameron Dukes this time flips it out. Looks like Deontay McMahon. Quick along the right sideline and steps out of bounds as the Alouettes 11th straight victory. It's crazy to think how long it's been since they have actually tasted defeat.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the confidence, even at this stage, continue to grow every week. It was so evident in their run at the end of last season, and just their ability to pick up right where they left off. And it's been with good football.
And they jumped on teams as well, right? During the first month of this season. Coming into tonight, plus 20-point differential in the first quarter, plus 22 in the second quarter. You stack that up with the 3 games they had coming in: Winnipeg, Edmonton, Ottawa. Closing things down, owning time of possession, avoiding turnovers. It's a good football team. They proved it again here tonight as Fajardo is back on the field, completes to Devin Dallaire. And Dallaire has a catch that goes for maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, the goal for Montreal at this point, I mean, keep the clock running. A situation where it's a 3-possession game. 2.5 minutes to go. Dallaire, if he's going to get taken down, didn't mind being taken down inbounds.
See Calvillo.
Timer, keep the 20-second clock at 13.
That's the power structure here with Danny Machocha as general manager. Established and in control of this franchise that continues to look more and more dominant as the season goes on. As they let the clock run down here. And Moss will call timeout with the play clock hitting 0.
Timeout, Montreal.
Wasn't the cleanest night for Cody Fajardo, though, Dwayne. He did have to face a little bit of adversity. Got banged around a couple of times this evening by this Argos defense.
Yeah, but demonstrated an ability to make plays despite that. Taking shots, but standing in, making throws, moving the football. Had to leave briefly after that one hit, but Cody Fajardo gutting it out, guiding his team toward victory here tonight.
And as we said off the top, he's got a little bit of everything in his game, right? The accuracy's a little better, the deep ball's a little bit better. He's always had the toughness and the running ability, so starting to piece it together. As they'll flip it underneath, Charleston Rambo with a couple of blockers out in front. And a great tackle that time. That is quintessential Winton McManus.
Yeah, McManus.
Timeout, Toronto.
Leads this D by example right in the middle of your screen. Great redirect there when he recognized what's going on. You saw him moving towards the line of scrimmage. A terrific recognition and reaction. McManus playing the middle linebacker spot this year. after playing on the weak side for most of his career to this point.
And earned his stripes on special teams, something that he talks about glowingly, even having to play special teams when he signed over in free agency to come to the Double Blue. Talks to the younger players, specifically the younger defenders, about the importance of learning and earning your opportunities. He did it. Talks the talk, walks the walk, and makes a great play that time to get Montreal off the field. This punt drops down Janarian Grant at the 22-yard line. And trying to go for the wide side return and gets dumped down around the 30. The CFL and TSN continues tomorrow as the Bombers head to Cowtown to face the Stamps. Winnipeg trying to avoid an unthinkable 0-4 start. Tune in at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN. As Winnipeg, some of the numbers, the stats coming out of their beginning of the year.
Offsetting misconduct penalties, 15 yards each. Montreal number 20, Toronto number 32.
Well, they clean up a couple of penalties there, but Winnipeg start wild to think about.
The challenge, the injury luck or lack thereof that they've had as now looks like Dalton Schoen will be done for the season. Terrific Bombers receiver.
Cameron Dukes done for the evening as Brian Scott has checked into the ball game here. Arbuckle stays on the sidelines. Scott, quick release, gets it out with his hand to Pope. And Tyrese Beverett escorts him out along that Argonauts sideline.
Yeah, and good opportunity here to get a few snaps in for Brian Scott. Saw very limited action, just a handful of series last year for the Argos as he and Dukes both served as rookie backups behind Chad Kelly in 2023.
Big body too, 6'2", 220. That quarterback bouncing around there, looking for the receiver, Demonte Coxie. Working that near sideline as Ryan Dinwiddie trying to get some positive film laid down here for the Argonauts to move forward into week number 5.
Scott taking advantage a little bit as the Alouette defense, as you can imagine, laying back, defending against the deep stuff. They'll give up the underneath.
You just know Noel hates this though, because he prides himself on first down metrics and winning that down and distance and getting off the field on second, and all of these hurt all of those numbers that he cares so much about.
Yeah, but you know what he cares about more?
Yes, yeah.
Winning.
Yeah. Scott again, quick slant underneath. Thorpe and his defense will allow it. Tavares Daniels adds to it. Really impressive the way that Montreal's defense in concert, always talk about that complementary football term, but the style of this defense feels like it fits ideally with what Jason Moss is doing offensively. No secret. They have been paired up by Danny Machocha. Now down the seam, taking a shot, dropping it in. And it's a touchdown. For the Double Blue fans that stuck around to the end of this one, they get rewarded with a Brian Scott touchdown to Makai Pope.
Yeah, Pope goes and gets this one. And very fittingly, whose number's he wearing? Ricky Ray's number 15. Touchdown on the night that Ricky is honored here in Toronto. He manages, the officials' estimation, to roll across the line before he's down by contact. Fascinating to me, by the way, to hear Ricky Ray express very clearly an interest in coaching.
I would say it wasn't an interest in coaching. It was, I'm waiting for somebody to call me. They'll go for 2. 1 for 1 thus far this season, and walking into the end zone, north-south, Dan Adeboboye. The Canadian back out of Bryant in his 3rd year. tags 2 more and a 10-point game. Well, that looked easy compared to the rest of the evening.
Big play there for Mackay Polk, a guy who, you know, the Argos' first game, Monte Coxey was injured. Polk gets a start in his place. Second game, Tavares Daniels is injured. Polk gets a start in his place. Well, those guys are both back now.
Yeah.
But Polk, having done enough to stay in the lineup, presses and an opportunity to score his first touchdown since 2021. College days at Mississippi State.
One of those stats that makes you realize there's probably a handful of Argos fans out there that go, the night was disappointing, and I don't even care we had that late touchdown. It matters to that guy. It's been a long time since he's been able to celebrate.
Yeah. You know, and looking to make plays, keep himself on that roster. He's a guy, you watch him out there, he plays with an edge.
Yeah.
Takes every battle with the DBs personally.
Great article by him on Argo's website by Mike Hogan. There, Hairolahu sets this one up. High lofting onside kick, hangs in the air, and then is received comfortably. Looks like Keon Julian. And that's the guy I'd want on the hands team too. Big body, strong hands. Not afraid to make a catch over the middle. Makes sense.
Yeah, it was summed up right there. As Montreal didn't get it, all their blocking responsibilities taken care of here. As an Argo gets free, essentially what you're trying to do on hands team is put a row of blockers in front and protect that guy to catch the ball. So he's not getting hit as he catches it, but Grant, as he has demonstrated on offense over the years, very capable of making a catch while taking a hit.
Side handoff here, right down the hash. A nice chunk on first down for the Alouettes, as Cody Fajardo still in the ball game. Likely a series of handoffs, but interesting not to see any of his backups, whether it be Caleb Evans or Davis Alexander, checking into the game. But Cody enjoying a little bit more field time here in week number 4.
And I suspect sometimes when you're Cody Fajardo and you've taken some hits over the course of this ball game, frankly, you want to close it out. And I think adding to that the rivalry between these two teams and the fact that his last loss was here.
Now he'll kneel it out. Wave goodbye to the Argos. The last time these two teams played, it was an iconic and memorable 2023 East Final where that man, Jason Moss, was able to solidify a Grey Cup opportunity in pure disappointment for the Argonauts after a 16-2 regular season. They had, of course, that first round bye in the East Division playoffs. Hosting that game, huge crowd, and Montreal came in and stole it from them. And now the Alouettes come back in and get a big victory on the road to move to 4-0 for the first time since 2009.
Impressive finish a year ago turns into an impressive start here in 2024 for Jason Moss and the Montreal Alouettes, giving themselves a little bit of early breathing room in the East Division.
It's an early advantage, but it is a long grind, the CFL season, as they shake hands, wind down what was not a dominant performance, Dwayne, but certainly one that it felt like Montreal had control of much of the evening.
Yeah, and particularly as it got into the second half of this game, you really felt the Alouettes take control more and more. We talked off the top about the need for them to force Cameron Dukes out of his comfort zone. They accomplished that. Forced him into making mistakes.